Hi everyone, it's Marcus, and I am sitting down via Zoom today with Georgia, who is part of Germein. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Marcus. How are you?
Awesome, good, thank you. Now look, let's clear something up, all right? Because I get confused, and I'm sure everyone else gets confused. Do we call it Germain or Germain's sisters? Because we hear both.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. So we used to be mostly Germain sisters. Well, we used to be Germain sisters. And then sort of the last few years, we sort of just dropped the sisters and became Germain. But we kind of take either. I think like we're still obviously sisters because we are. But it was yeah, it was more of a branding sort of thing, and just for merch, it was easier putting Germain and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, you can call us whatever you like. But yeah, we'll go. I mean, Germain is what you can find us on like Spotify and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Of course, it is Georgia, and Ella and Clara. I just recently saw you at the Entertainment Centre about a month ago, I reckon it was, supporting
Yeah.
an opening for the Corrs. Not only the Corrs, but also Natalie Imbruglia, and also the amazing, iconic from the 80s, Tony Childs. What
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
amazing show that was.
Oh, it was incredible. We sort of were doing their whole tour, so it was just, but doing the Adelaide show was just something special. We've never played at the Entertainment Centre before, but obviously always driven past it or whatever. I was like, oh, that would be so amazing. And I know we were the opening act, but it was still just, yeah, it was so surreal to be able to play there. So, and the show was amazing. Like I could not get sick of seeing any of those bands. Like I could watch it 100 times in a row and just like froth on it. So it was just such a fun tour, and yeah, the Adelaide show was especially great for us. We loved that.
The homecoming tour, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I had seen the Corrs before in their last tour, which was like they said, like Andrea said, it was good few years ago. I think she said it was a decade ago, something like that, that they were
Yeah,
here
yeah,
last. But I'd never
yeah.
seen Tony Childs before, and I've never seen Natalie Imbruglia before. They blew me away. They were actually quite insane. Their
They were
energy
so
on stage that night, having the four acts, just incredible. But you three, like, wow. I have my photographer there, and we got some amazing snaps of you guys that I think I've shared with you already. But yeah,
yeah.
brilliant performance. Was that your
Oh,
biggest gig that you had done so far?
it probably I'm trying to think. On the tour, it was one of the bigger ones. Well, I think Melbourne and Sydney were quite big. They were sort of yeah, it depended. Although we did Manila and where was it? Jakarta and Manila, so Indonesia and the Philippines, and that was just crazy. And that was all sort of a standing audience. So, and we were the only support for those shows. So it was just playing to a full room of people like going, ah! So that was really, really fun. But I mean, we were just grateful to be on the tour, and all the shows were really, really great. But maybe not the biggest, but it was still just something very nostalgic about being home. So yeah.
Now, your parents were at the entertainment center that night. I remember the Corrs pointing them out.
Oh.
How were they? What were they feeling? I mean, obviously, insane pride, of course, but what were their reactions after the show?
Yeah, no, they were stoked. It was just, yeah, I think very surreal for them. I don't know if it's kind of really sunk in, but they've seen us work hard over the years and been super supportive and encouraging us to, do the stuff that we love, which is obviously, music and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think they were stoked. It was, yeah, it was funny. We had like all the relatives and the cousins. I think they were in the first like few rows. Like it was just so funny. But it was weird looking at me like, hey, you, and like, seeing, it's always a bit more nerve-wracking, I find, playing hometown shows, because you're sort of like, oh, I know people, or I grew up with these people, or there was my music teacher sitting out there, or whatever it is. But it's quite special. But no, mum and dad were super stoked. So yeah.
Yeah, proud. Now, obviously, as we mentioned before, you are Adelaide based, and your career, the three of you, your careers are just exploding at the moment with Germain. Do you find living in Adelaide, while your career is getting, really like megally off the ground, is it easier to stay in Adelaide while you're doing that?
We sort of find ourselves over in the UK in the summertime generally, or we sort of have been chasing the summer, although we are going back next week to the UK to do Tom Jones's like UK dates, which is very exciting. And it's going to be very strange being there in winter because it'll be very cold and we're not quite used to that. So yeah, I think no, we love Adelaide. It's just such a great place to come home to, and obviously we've got like studio here and that kind of thing. So we love being able to be home and be amongst, you know, there's just, I don't know, other cities. I can't speak highly enough of Adelaide. So obviously, like with music opportunities, sometimes it's necessary that you travel, whether that's over in the UK. We were in America early this year for the first time, which was really cool too. But yeah, we find that it works for us, you know, always coming back home wherever we end up in the world. But yeah, Adelaide's great, so I can't complain.
Great base, isn't it? Adelaide's a good foundation, a good base, and it's a happy home, isn't it? I love it here.
And there's so many like, and music is great as well in Adelaide. Like the music venues, the music scene is wonderful here. Like obviously in Australia, like it's quite far apart with cities and that kind of thing. So you've got to like it's easier to, you know, tour in countries, say Europe and the UK, where everything is quite close together. Whereas you got to drive to Perth, which is, you know, however many hours across the Nullarbor. But Adelaide's got a great support network of you know, industry sort of stuff, and especially we've found for us, you know, building up our career has just been so great being here. Sorry, rant.
Aside from the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, which you're very fond of, what's one of your other favourite live venues in Adelaide? Because we've, like you said, we've got quite a few, and it's got some, you know, really kick-ass places around. What's one of your favourites that you'd love to go and see a band at?
But definitely the Gov has always been just, yeah, it's been great. We love playing the Gov as well. Just lovely group of people there. Trying to think recently, well, obviously Fringe Festival. I know that's sort of like a pop-up sort of thing. We usually do the Garden of Unearthly Delights or Gluttony. We did this year, but yeah, Fringe Festival was amazing. We played at the Lab, which is kind of a new one in the city, which was quite cool. It was very amazing with they've got like screens around it. That was really cool. But yeah, probably I'm gonna say the Gov is probably our pick, but there's obviously so many great ones that we love. So yeah.
That's one thing that's really good about Adelaide. You know, we really support our live entertainment, our live music.
Yeah.
Now you dropped the name a little bit ago. Tom Jones. Excitedly, you're supporting the Tom Jones tour. How on earth did that come about?
Yeah, well, you know, our agent put us forward for them. We actually did a couple of shows with him last year in the UK over the summer, just sort of one-offs, which is what we did with Little Mix, and we did them a few years ago now. We sort of do a few shows as kind of, they don't say it's like a test run, see how you go. And yeah, and we did another few shows this year with his part of his summer tour again, and then he liked us, I guess, and the team liked us, and they've now invited us to do the whole UK tour. So that's happening next week. We head off, and then obviously the Australian tour coming up next year. Woohoo! So yeah, it's pretty crazy, but yeah, just very grateful to have a great agent that is putting us forward for some stuff, and hopefully that we do a good job and people like us and ask us back. So yeah.
And so you've met Tom Jones already, have you?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, he's so lovely. I like that Welsh accent is just like, oh, is very nice. And he's just super sort of kind and very genuine sort of fellow, and very, very easygoing, which is nice. I think sometimes if artists can be like quite, you know, all over the place, he's just like very, very chilled. Like what a chilled guy. And he's such a legend. I don't think you realize it when you're speaking to him, and it's like, oh my goodness, like, and he would tell stories on stage, like he was talking about, oh, I was hanging out with Elvis at this thing and doing this, and talking about other people he's written with and played with, and yeah, you just don't think about that. I think for us, like, we grew up with a few of his songs, but it wasn't sort of, and I remember when we like heard about that we were opening for him initially on just a few shows, you sort of go and listen to his music. I was like, oh my gosh, I know so many of these songs. He's just such an icon. So yeah, we're very, very excited.
That is so exciting for you guys, and very well deserved as well. Now you've got 2 albums in so far. Obviously the first one, 2000. Puppy is so cute. What's his name?
This is Daisy. She
Daisy.
yeah.
Hello,
yeah,
Daisy.
yeah, no.
She's cute. She had me at black.
Yeah.
2013, Because You Breathe, the first album, which went gangbusters, and then 2022's Sister Sessions, and then you've just brought out a new single called City Lights, which has been received really well. And from reflection, you played that at the Entertainment Centre the other week or the other month.
Yeah.
Which got a really good reaction. So is there another album coming out soon, does that mean?
Yeah, we have got a bunch of new songs that are in the works that are on the way to come out. So we're hoping they'll be ready. Well, I mean they'll be out for this Tom Jones tour coming out in the new year. So woohoo, that'll be look forward for that. But yeah, we're grateful to be able to record a lot of the stuff that we do at home here in the lovely Adelaide Hills. So so that's nice. But the City Lights is a great one that we're very excited about that one. Just it's kind of for us, it's about getting away from the city and heading to sort of country or regional areas and just kind of escaping. And we feel like we do that when we come home to Adelaide in the best way. Like, Adelaide is a city, but it is kind of like a big country town as well. We find it's just a very community sort of feel. So yeah,
it keeps you grounded. So
right.
Obviously based on doing the Tom Jones tour, which is going to take up quite a bit of time, but if there's the new album coming out, is it going to be a Germein tour also?
Yeah, we're hoping. Well, following up the Tom Jones shows across Australia with sort of a national tour. So stay tuned for all of those details. Awesome. And then we'll probably head back to the UK after that, and obviously do all those shows again that we generally sort of like sort of the festival circuit over there, because it's just great during the summer.
Nice. Well, let's talk about, obviously creating more music. Who inspires you? When you're in the vibe of like writing and playing and etc., who do you sit down and listen to? Who's really floating your boat at the moment?
Oh my goodness. I feel like it changes every day. I feel like after the Corrs tour, it was like, oh my gosh, I just remember how much I love this music. And because we're all sisters, we sing in harmonies. And so, the harmonies that the Corrs have, it's just, that kind of thing always inspired us growing up. And obviously like the fact that they all play instruments, because if people don't know, I play guitar and my sister Clara plays drums and my other sister plays bass, and that sort of musical sort of element to it. But we were really grateful to open for Sting on his one of his shows in the UK this year in the summertime, and we grew up listening to him and the Police, like that sort of real sort of indie rock kind of, but really good songs, and his performance was incredible. His band was amazing. And then Blondie as well was on that bill, just really powerful sort of I guess for us being females, like females that are really doing some cool stuff, that's always really nice. But goodness, it definitely changes. I think we all have different sort of tastes. I'm probably more of the indie pop sort of flair for me, and then Ella likes sort of more like quite pop sort of stuff, and then Claire likes sort of acousticy sort of country. So we all kind of come together and and sort of make stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would have to say, and I was listening to Natalie Brulé actually a lot recently, and loving her new album Firebird, and that's just really just good music, and good songs. I think that's what you need. It's always helpful. So yeah, it's nice.
I mean, you're surrounding yourself with a lot of people that have been in the industry for a very long time. We're talking decades, many decades for some of them. Does that give you, the inspiration that, this is something that, you essentially could be doing for a very long time as well? Is that something in your head, or you just kind of take it day by day?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a day by day thing. I think in regards to when COVID happened, we were touring so much before then, and then we were just forced to stay put, which obviously Adelaide's was a pretty good place to be stuck during COVID. And we were on a property, so we could still, go out and do lots of things and still kind of work in our little hub, but we weren't able to tour. But so it was, I think since COVID, we've been super more appreciative of the, the shows and the travel that we have gotten to do. I remember when we did our first UK tour after COVID, and it was just so surreal, being out and about and all this kind of stuff. And, I think it was Isle of Wight Festival, and it was just how many thousands of people were there. And just after being on the airplane, it was all very strict with everything. But it was, so yes, I think since COVID, we've certainly taken things more day by day in the sense of just appreciating, moments and, really appreciating relationships. And if you're in a particular area, going out and seeing the local, whatever it is, just to, be there and enjoy it. Because sometimes you'd be like, oh, I'm too tired, I'll do that next year when I'm here, or whatever it is. But so I think we've taking it day by day in that sense. But definitely that long term. I mean, Tom Jones is like 83, I think. So he's just like, and it's the thing, if you love doing it, then nothing should really hold you back. Obviously, life can happen and things can change. But if it's possible to keep doing it, and you love making music, and for us, if we're enjoying what we're playing, and enjoying touring, then yeah, why not keep going? So yeah, it's definitely been really inspiring seeing these I guess older artists or artists that have been around for a longer time, and really smashing the industry still, and just enjoying it as well, and seeing how much they love it. And it's not just sort of I just want to make a lot of money and then nick off. Like if they are enjoying it, it shouldn't matter about I mean, money is helpful obviously, but it's if you're really passionate about what you're doing, then yeah, then you're sorted.
I guess when you're touring with the Corrs, who are of course brothers and sisters, that's actually quite inspiring for you, obviously being sisters as well, seeing that, them as a family can, sustain and, be in the industry for decades. And I mean, I think they've been around for a good 2, maybe 3 decades by now. Yep. 90s it was, I think, when they first came out. I guess that gives you some form of inspiration that, what, we can totally do this. We get along,
Yeah.
we'll be fine.
Yeah, that's it for sure. It was so funny. I remember the first thing, I think Andrea came and grabbed us after the first show in Jakarta, and she was like, so what's it like being in a band with your sisters? And it was just like funny, just sort of that interview question that you get like a lot of well, we get a lot anyway, being siblings, and just like laughing about all the sibling banter and the looks that you give each other on stage when it's like, what's happening now, or what are you doing? Like, I think being sisters, you can be a bit more, or siblings, you can be a bit more like harsh, or sort of you kind of say what you think. You don't, I mean, we try to be nice, but it's with friends, you kind of have to have a little bit of a buffer. But yeah, it was just funny, sort of talking to that band about all that sibling stuff, and sort of laughing about who's the mediator, who's the one that's more likely to do this, and it was just funny because all the similarities was coming out, and that was great.
All right, Georgia, let's totally go there. All right, you've pushed me now. You pushed me to this question. Georgia, who is the easiest to get along with out of all 3 of you?
Oh, I don't like Ella's the most chatty. Ella's the bass player. She is definitely the most extroverted. Easiest to get. Claire is the mediator. She's the drummer, so she's very chilled and sort of sits in the middle. So Ella and I are the ones that would sort of clash the most. So I'd say Claire is the most easygoing. Yeah, I just had to think about that. I was like, yeah, no, Claire, definitely.
That's all. That's the tough question. Over and done with.
Yeah.
2 more questions for you. What is the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on a gig?
Oh my goodness. There's been so many. I'm trying. There's been like, we were playing in Vietnam once, and it was like it was just really wet on stage. It was probably not very health and safety, and I got zapped and I sort of got thrown back. But it was on like being streamed on TV or something, so it was like, well, the show must go on. So we kept playing. Oh, the girls would have the girls are better at sort of the funny stories because they remember everything better than I do. I think on the Little Mix tour, Ella was Ella's bass lead fell out, and she was sort of like playing her bass line, but it wasn't working, and she was sort of going to the sound guys like, what are you doing, like what's going on? And her bass wasn't plugged in. That was quite funny. Oh no, that's right, Little Mix tour as well. It was my birthday, and Ella always, I don't wear much lipstick, particularly on stage, because I like sort of mush the microphone a lot and it ends up over my face. So, but Ella, it was my birthday on the Little Mix tour, and Ella was very adamant on me wearing like lipstick. She's like, it'll look great. I've got this new lipstick that won't smudge on your face. And I sort of did the whole gig, and like first song in, it was all over my face, but I was unaware that it was all over my face. Anyway, that was quite funny. And you're on the big screens as well on those sort of shows, are huge. So everyone's just watching me, and I just look like a clown, like doing our set for 30 minutes. And then also, because we usually, if it's someone's birthday, we sing happy birthday to whoever it is. And Ella was like, now we're going to sing happy birthday to Georgia. And this is about in front of 30,000 people. And but then she was like, oh, I don't normally sing it. She's like, can you sing it? So I had to sing happy birthday to myself, like in front of anyway, it was just something that wasn't planned, but it was that was quite funny. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything else at the very minute, but I'm sure there's lots of.
You had me getting struck by lightning. All right.
Okay, cool.
That was the big one. Hey, so Christmas is obviously coming up. We're a couple of weeks away from Christmas. How are you spending Christmas Day?
Just home with family. So we actually fly in on I think the 23rd back from the UK at like a very late time. And so it was just sort of trying to, hopefully, if there's no flight cancellations, we'll make sure we've got a buffer so that we're there for Christmas Day, because our mum would be devastated if we weren't there. So yeah, we'll just have Christmas Day with family. I think doing like a family lunch and then family dinner, and very, very chilled, low key. We might go to the beach if the weather's good, and yeah, that's sort of the plan. So yeah, nothing super.
I have got a very good feeling that they're probably going to find you asleep under the dining table. You're going to be exhausted
Oh,
on Christmas Day. You're going to
yeah,
maybe a food coma. Who knows?
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
passed out somewhere.
Yeah.
Georgia, you are an absolute delight. I wish you the most amazing 2023 Christmas and much success for 2024, which includes obviously the Tom Jones tour, a new album, and hopefully an album tour as well. And I will see you at hopefully all those things.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me, Marcus. It's been so great to finally meet you and have a chat. So yeah, really appreciate your support.
Absolutely. Doing it for Adelaide. Woo!
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Georgia. Bye-bye.